Hey guys, Suzu here, bringing you another Starcraft 2 game. This time we're going to have a ZVT on Lost Temple. It's going to be HopeTorture. HopeTorture made it to the semifinals of the GSL. He is battling the semifinals against, I believe it's OGS. I want to say OGS and Snare, but don't quote me on that because I could be wrong. HopeTorture are going to be spawning as the Red Terran to the left. Lots of chat between these two. On the left we have Fruit Seller. I actually had a comment on the last video I did of him saying that it's actually Fruit Dealer. I've heard it both ways. I'm just going to go with Fruit Seller for now. The guy who named the replays where I got them named him Fruit Seller as well. I've heard it both ways. We're just going to go with Fruit Seller for now because that's probably what I'm going to say. And he's going to be spawning as the Blue Zerg. And they're going to be cross position, Zerg at the 3, Terran at the 9. This is going to be very advantageous for the position for the Zerg because it's going to be a very nice long rush distance over the Terran. Probably the longest rush distance you're going to see. Aside from top to bottom, cross position is the best position for Zerg. You do not want your Terran to spawn here because if your Terran spawns here, it's going to be very quick for him to get to your base with any kind of push, any kind of action. His turtling is going to be twice as dangerous because it's going to be so close. Very standard play so far. Looks like he's probably going to be hatching. He's already up to 14 workers. Still hasn't thrown down a pool. Hasn't thrown down a gas. Wouldn't be surprised to see a hatch. Very, very ballsy play if he does go for the hatch. And he is going for the hatch. This is dangerous on Lost Temple because of this cliff. Terran are known to take advantage of this cliff with cliff drops and really punish the Zerg for fast expansion. Jumping back to the Terran base, Terran is going barracks then gas. Very standard play. Opting not to put his supply depot at his ramp. Probably going to wall off with a factory in that case, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see a 1-1-1 build to allow for that, taking advantage of this cliff. But I will not be sure until it happens. HopeTorture finally scouting the wrong direction, passes the Overlord, so he's going to know that Fruit Seller is probably going to be right here. Pool is down. Pool went down right after the hatchery. Back to the Terran base, getting a Marine, Orbital Command, and a really fast second gas. If he's going by, you generally will not see the gas up this fast, so I would be very surprised if we didn't see some kind of 1-1-1 build out of HopeTorture, excuse me. Chopping over my words. Marine set to the set to rally at the top, Overlord, and finally the scout's going to make it. He's going to see this very fast expansion. He's going to know it's going to be time to take advantage of that cliff and do what Terran do best and annoy the hell out of the Zerg. SCV going up, doesn't decide to change any words with his drone. Jumping up to the Zerg base, getting a gas just now, very late gas, getting one queen. Sorry for not having the production tab open. One queen, second queen, and a couple drones. Still hasn't built any defensive units other than the queens. And here we go, factory going down, moving out with these Marines. See if he's going to throw up a bunker with this SCV. No, doesn't look like it. Looks like he's just going to walk out. Marines decide to go back in. Probably just wanted to get this Overlord. Didn't cross paths at all. Factory almost done. Hasn't thrown on an add-on, so we're probably not going to see some kind of Hellion push. Generally, when the Terran builds nothing but Marines, it's very common. If you see your Terran build Marines, don't be surprised if you get a 1-1 build. I wouldn't be surprised if here comes the Starport, maybe? Starport going down. Barracks actually being floated out. Strange to see this and not just continue to produce Marines. Oh, is he gonna? Nope. He's just spotting for that Overload. Looks like he just saw it. That's probably. I wonder if that's some kind of LOL there, but I do not know. Zerglings running, getting the tower, knows what's going on. We'll know if he pushes out. Spawning Larva, getting a Spine Crawler, still hasn't done anything. Here comes the Lair. Lair just started getting a Roach Warren, preparing for any kind of Hellion push, getting a Tech Lab, so we're definitely probably going to see some kind of Siege Tank drop on the back of this cliff. Let's see what Fruit Seller can do to deal with this. Hellions Marines coming into the Zerg base. Spine Crawler almost done, but these Hellions are probably just going to, this Hellion is just going to run right by. Queen doing everything that's kind of getting its way and prevent any action from going on. Blocking drones coming into the mix. Deciding to back off, not press his advantage, knows the Spine Crawler is about done, knows he's going to be able to get this dropship out any moment now and really be able to punch the Zerg for getting that fast expansion. Siege Tank already on the way. Siege Tank almost done. Wouldn't be surprised as soon as he has that Siege Tank to fill it up and drop it off right here and start doing anything against slow advantage. Very wisely throwing out a Spine Crawler, hoping to deal with this inevitable tank push drop on that ledge. Layer is now done. Let's see what he goes with to deal with this. Getting the Overlord drops, very wise decision. Not even getting the Overlord speed, skipping right to the Overlord drops. Wants to be able to get up on this cliff before The Terran can get there. Dropship's already full. He's not going to beat it. 1 SCV, 3 Marines coming into that. Let's take a look on the Siege Tech. Siege Tech almost done. This drop is going to be a very perfect timing, and it's going to be well before the Ventral Sacks are done. Taking a look at the Ventral Sacks, it just started. Not going to be done in time. Going back, this one Spine Crawler is the only thing that's going to have to slow him down. He's going to have to hope this Spine Crawler takes long enough to kill that he's able to get the Ventral Sacks out. Here comes the SCV, probably going to throw down a turret. Does he even have an Engineering Bay? Engineering Bay just now getting finished. Perfect timing on everything. Wouldn't be surprised if that turret goes up. Siege mode going down, moving the Spine Crawlers into position, hoping to tank these for as long as possible. Very wise decision to do that. Gonna try and get the transfusion. Doesn't have the energy for transfusion. Not even close. Due to that change on Spine Crawlers, because people taking advantage of it, the Spine Crawler burrow is so long. This is both Spine Crawlers and doesn't even take out a single unit. This Fruit Dealer is in a horrible position right now and is going to need to do something and do something amazing. Ventral Sacks, as you can see, is not quite done. It's only about 80% of the way done, and the turret is already up, and the 3 Marines are sitting here. Tank is being repaired, pounding away at this hatchery, jumping back to the Terran base, starting to build his expansion, adding on a second factory with another tech lab, more tanks, not building in Marines, not building in more dropships, still investing in this push right here. Here he comes, another tank, just making it as difficult as possible for Fruit Dealer, bringing up the Army tab, 60 to 51, 65 to 51. The Zerg actually staying well ahead. Let's take a look at the Units tab, see exactly what he's got. Only 5 roaches and 1 ling, so it's mostly comprised of his 33 drones. Taking a look at the income tab, both players about even. 33 drones, the 32 SCVs. Second turn coming up. He must know that there's going to be some kind of Mutalisk or some kind of drop play coming, because he's preparing as much as possible for the air. And the Ventral Sacks are now done. Here he comes, deciding to forsake his base. He's already lost his hatchery. He knows there's no reason to try and stop this, especially with 2 turrets and 3 Marines. Gonna try and catch this Terran player completely out of position. One Viking spots the Overlords, and he's hitting the Overlord with nothing in it. Oh man, and now he's hitting this Overlord. It's got 2 roaches in it. We'll see if he's able to drop those off. But already in the Terran pace, the Terran has absolutely nothing to deal with this right now. 1 tank and nothing else. One Marine. Gonna really make the crucial difference there. Tons of supply depots, nothing here, nothing. A Thor finally done, but these are gonna be too many roaches. SCV's finally getting into the mix. See if he's able to repair this Thor to victory. Jumping back to his base, he has taken his units, he's bringing them back to his base, and he's going to try and defend this. Here's your units coming in. He's going to try and take down this Thor. I'm going to highlight the Thor to give you the HP. See how he's repairing it. He's not repairing it yet. He lifts it up and drops it back down. He's abusing this dropship. Look at that dropship play. That's absolutely brilliant. Not losing, barely on unit, protecting everything with his SCVs. All those roaches are dead. Fantastic play by HopeTorture. Absolutely fantastic. Jumping back to the Zerg base, trying to reestablish his expansion, expanding right back here, regardless of these Marines and turrets already here. He's going to need to take this down. He's going to need to take control of his ledge if he's going to have any hope of holding this expansion. Terran is building SCVs, not deciding to push out his expansion yet. Knows he's in a fragile position with very few units, especially if the Zerg decides to do some kind of large Zergling Roach land push. If he doesn't have this walled off and he tries to take the expansion, he'll have problems holding it. Jumping back to the Zerg base, Spire finally going down, and a Thor drop in the Zerg's base. Whoa, there goes the Queen. Roach probably about to die. Roach 1, and not going to chase them. Wise decision, going to go try and take some damage. Deciding to hit this Overlord, probably not a wise decision. Thors do very little damage against armored air units. Picks up the Thor, runs it away. These poor roaches can do nothing but watch. Queen back in the mix, deciding just to escape, not going to push and not going to try to do any more damage. Creep tour is being laid out, knows he needs to take advantage of the creep and allow him much more mobility than he has. Here comes siege tanks and Thors. Didn't repair the siege tanks or the Thors. Viking and a Hellion. Pure mech army. See if see if Fruit Dealer is going to have any way to protect himself against this. Nothing but drones. Was about to do some kind of drop play, but it's not going to be enough. Here comes that, barely alive, but still there. That Thor is out. 2 Thors, 2 siege tanks, and a Viking. Is Fruit Dealer going to have anything to do with this? Bringing up the army tab, 61 to 65. Now advantage of the Terran. You never want to be in this position as a Zerg. And as you can see, most of his army units are built into, most of his units are drones. Very little money spent on his army. So anything Fruit Dealer is going to be able to do against this. Bringing up the production tab. His hatchery's gone. Trying to group up his roaches the best he can to hopefully defeat this. He knows he's going to have a hard time beating this. still deciding not to leave, but here he has this nice hidden expansion that's been going for a while. He's got drones being dropped off, trying to keep this expansion going. He needs to get some kind of base because he doesn't want to be going even base against the Terran for any period of time. Terran player definitely starting to push his advantage, producing out of 2 factories, and now owning 3 more barracks. Going to have 4 barracks and 2 factories pumping nonstop. Roach is pushing across the field. Roach speed is now done. This Terran player is going to be far too prepared for this. He's not going to be enough roaches. This is going to be his one desperate last push, I assume, or at least he's going to try and put the pressure on the Terran to convince him to at least stay away from his base. Here comes a Viking just doing all the scouting he can, taking a quick look at the HopeTorture camp. HopeTorture does not know about that expansion up there, so expansion is going to be huge as long as he can maintain it and doesn't lose the game before he's able to reap the advantages of it. He needs to stop his Terran from expanding and needs to get a 3rd expansion. Hopefully he's going to expand on this island. Doesn't seem that way. No drones loaded into those dropships. Terran player just sitting at his door, baiting the Zerg to dare to walk in, jumping back to the Zerg base, nothing but powering his macro right now, not increasing his his roach numbers at all. Building Mutalisks now, 7 Mutalisks, an attack upgrade for the Mutalisks coming. These Mutalisks could be huge. He has a mostly siege tank army. These siege tanks are going to be useless. It's going to be 3 Thors. It's going to be very tough for 7 Mutalisks to beat 3 Thors, but if he does the magic blocks correctly, there's a very good chance to be able to hide them. He's got the Mutalisks rallied up here, so if any kind of scan goes off, he'll have issues knowing the number of Mutalisks. Overlord just doing scouting, the Overlord checking around, Viking and he's got plenty of turrets, so he's going to need to crush this army when this army moves out. Roach is here, see it moving away, wise decision, no way that the Roach is going to be able to take this army. Jumping back to the Zerg, Zerg still has his expansion running, decided to expand to the top island. He's got his Mutalisks hiding up there. He's going to need to do what he can to stop this, and I don't know what he's going to be able to do. Bringing up the army tab, we have 115 to 99. Terran in the advantage now. Huge resource advantage in his army. He's doing everything he can. Fruit Dealer is trying to take these Terran units away from their target by baiting them away. He's just trying to slow down this Terran push. He wants the Terran not to push until he has time to catch up with his army and pick off any reinforcing units with his mobility. He's trying to use this creep he has, and these very slow Thors. Getting away, almost sniping a Thor. But now the Terran is committed to pushing, and the Zerg just doesn't have any units. I'm not sure if these are going to be enough. Excuse me for moving the camera. Jumping up, coming to his base, Overlord going down, trying to pick up and run the Queen away. Fruit Dealer doing everything he can, but it's not going to be enough. Losing his expansion. His top expansion still remains undiscovered, but I don't think he's going to have the units to stop this. Using his roaches to break up the reinforcing units, but it's just not going to be enough. Jumping back to his base, he's got nothing but a couple Zerglings and a couple Mutalisks. I don't know what he's going to do against 5 Thors and 6 siege tanks. 5 siege tanks, because I can count. Here come the Mutalisks, magic box doing the best he can, hoping that he's going to be able to take out this many Thors. Here we go. Thors holding out. It's easier to see the Mutalisks. 1 Thor down, another Thor down to 3 Thors. These Mutalisks may just hold out. Magic boxing, allowing those Thors to only hit 1 Mutalisk at a time, not allowing them to take advantage of their spray. And but it's just not going to be enough. Good games, and Fruit Dealer loses the HopeTorture mainly because of this cliff advantage. It's very hard to take a quick expansion against Terran. You'll see a lot more one base play out of Zerg. But an excellent game nonetheless between 2 excellent players. Thank you. This was Sue.